So, George, welcome to our Data Talks.
Thank you very much, Francie. How are you doing?
I am very, very well. I just came back from a lovely skiing vacation in Les Arcs in France and fully motivated and so happy to see that data product management has finally taken the stage in the data world. And yeah, over the last year or so, I'm more involved in this topic and have really seen that it has risen as a discipline and enables more and more organizations to deliver business and customer value from data. But before we jump into this topic, maybe can you introduce yourself quickly and what you do with Mindfuel?
So I'm George. I'm with Mindfuel now for 2.5 years. My focus has been more on the strategic projects and also more on research and development. So I'm defining also best practices for data product management. And then also helping, of course, our clients to create value from data in different industries and also different company sizes, different organizational structures. But my main focus has really been on how can we define an organization structure and the operating model that can really enable our customers to create this value from data.
Thank you for sharing this. So I catch there's something that I really like. You also talk about the organizational structure and the operating model. So for Mindfuel, data product management is not only about the data products, but also about the how and why. So transforming processes, organizations, and culture to be designed for extracting this value creation from data. Is that correct in your eyes, or did I miss something?
Yes, for sure. I think also our view that we have seen, and I think you also discussed this in previous conversations. So maybe the problem of creating value from data, that is not only a technical problem, but a lot of this organizational and also like this process related part, and also the mindset. And we also in Mindfuel that we see that we also need to build this data product mindset also to enable the organizations to create this value. So totally agree that this is transversal problem and that can cover a lot of different areas. And I think in Mindfuel, we also have best practices in all of these different areas and dimensions that we want to also tackle these common issues that we find across the different industries.
Yeah. And I guess one thing I got there was the product mindset. And I believe one persona or one role who really incorporates this product mindset is actually the data product manager. And what I've noticed over the last few months that there's a lot of discussions around the role of a data product manager. What does a data product manager actually do? How does it maybe also differ to a project manager that is just dealing with data? So I'd be curious to see what is your understanding of what a data product manager does?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you're right. I think there are different interpretations and different definitions of what the data product manager does. And sometimes also depends on the organization, also like the maturity of the products and also the capabilities that you have on the team. So maybe you will have some different definitions, but I think overall, really the role of the data product manager is to own the success of the data products they are managing. And this could either be single data products or even a data product portfolio, depending on the type of data products that we are dealing with. And you also should ensure that these data products are creating value for the organization. And I think that's also one of their key responsibilities of connecting the data products also to the business goals and business value. And at the same time, so making this connection, I think also leads to one of the key responsibilities of the data product manager, which is being really this business to data translator. So being the person that can identify and validate business problems or needs or desires, or even the end customer problems and needs, and then try to understand how can you solve them with data, and being also like this interface between the business teams and then the data teams to ensure they are also talking the same language. Because if we are not talking the same language, it's really difficult to have a discussion and really to move forward. And then, so after we identify also these business needs, so these opportunities that we can solve, I think the data product manager also needs to manage the end-to-end product development. And this includes not just the discovery, so talking with the customers, but also owning managing the delivery. So having the coordinating what needs to be delivered, and maybe talking with the developers. Of course, you may have other roles that are supporting, for example, more senior engineers that can take these responsibilities and maybe are even more capable of doing so. But I think this is also a team effort, and we need also to, depending on the organization, change a bit these responsibilities. And I think then the last point is really to ensure that the data products are adopted and maintained over time, and that we are continuously improving them. And when we also they get to their end of their life cycle, so when we see they are not creating value, the data product manager also needs to take a decision, maybe to decommission, or maybe if we want to improve the data product. So this life cycle management, I think, is also a very key responsibility for the data product manager.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I saw recently somewhere that the decommission part is actually not really this much often talk about, because of course it's sad if you decommission something, but sometimes it does make sense to decommission it, just to save cost because it's already existing or it doesn't deliver the value you expected from it. And also one thing I would like to put in here is this adaption monster. So if your product is actually not used at the end and adapted throughout the company, you should also consider what to do with it, I guess. And yeah, I want to tap into something that a lot of people asked during our last LinkedIn Live about data product management. And they were coming from a position they want to develop into a role of a data product manager, but are looking for resources or recommendations on how to develop a skill set that is beneficial for them in the role. Do you have any recommendations here?
I think we have a lot of good data product managers that are starting to share even more knowledge in this to this day, and I think you also had some of them as guests now to the now to your data talks. So I definitely recommend to check. I think there are some newsletters about data product management, and I think at the same time it's also interesting to see what is being done also in the product world, and how are the discussions evolving, because we are also taking a lot from there. So having also this product knowledge, and I think one of the key skills for the data product manager is also being able to abstract from the solution and really have a deep understanding of the problem. And how can you talk with the customers? How can you discover their problems? I think that's also a key skill. And at the same time, more on the technical part. So I think you should also understand what are you developing, and maybe going more into this technical understanding. So also this like data literacy, because I think it's also like the data literacy and the business literacy that are key for the data product manager. And I think in that regard, you have also different resources that you can use to upskill your data literacy, to have an understanding of the different type of data products, the different type of activities that you need, that you can perform with data. And I think if you have this overview, and if you can be also like this bridge between the business and the data teams, can also help you to perform and to enroll in this job.
I think you said there are really nice things that some of our followers will like and can also look into. But maybe one thing to understand it, can you explain what data literacy is and business literacy?
Yeah, but I think data literacy is more what can you do with the data and how maybe you can validate the assumptions that are more related to the data. And at the same time, the business literacy is more understanding how your business is working, because that also helps you to understand how can you also create value from data and also making this connection. So how can you create value for your business? So this business literacy with data and also data products, and I think that part is more covered on the data literacy part. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, it does, and I think it was a little excursion there, but it is a nice bridge to come back to the topic I want to talk with you about today as well, and that is how can we actually empower the data product managers in their role, or people who aspire to become data product managers, to have an easier start in companies. And when I was talking to the data product managers, or what I heard from other conversations, there were 5 common pain points they often shared or talked about. And I feel like the business literacy and data literacy is also tapping into that a little bit. And I hope we can go through it and you can tell me how we can empower those data product managers in the best way. So let's talk about the first pain point they often refer to. And you mentioned it kind of before already. And that is like being a mediator between business and the data team. So often they don't speak the same language, and you maybe feel like you need a whole dictionary to talk to each other. What would be a best practice for you, or that you came up with already working with a lot of companies and a lot of data product managers? What could we do to empower them to speak more the same language?
Yes, that's a very good question, and I think that's also what we see as the first step in this journey, also of data product management, is we need to agree on definitions before, and also getting the commitment from the management. And we can do this by bringing the business and the data team together, and first ensure they are talking the same language. So we need to define what are the most important terms, and this includes, for example, what are data products, maybe what are opportunities, business goals. So we have that they can communicate at first, and then also getting the commitment from the management on the resources that are needed also for this, maybe for this transformation. Because if we don't have the commitment from also both of the teams, both the business team and the data team, I think we cannot also push this topic forward. So I think it's very important that on one hand we agree on the definitions as a first step, and at the same time we get the commitment from both teams.
Now you mentioned there the commitment of the business side, right? And I had last a call with someone, I cannot reveal who, of course, and he was a little bit sad about the fact that they, as the data product managers, are kind of like flying under the radar and are not really on the same eye level as the business side, and they feel like they're more like the service provider and have almost no or very little influence regarding incoming requests and how they are prioritized. And they didn't feel really valued and appreciated in their function. Is there anything that you would recommend to get this same eye level with the business side and to get their commitment?
Yes. And I think of course the target state that we are working also with the business at high level. So we are partners on this. But of course, in the beginning, it's not so easy because the business comes with you with some requests that you need to develop. But I think it's also important to show them what are the benefits of the collaboration, and showing that we have also like the expertise to enable them to find the best solution for their problem. And I think that's also the key part, is like really understanding what is the problem that they are trying to solve. And with our expertise, we help them to find the best solution, because maybe the solution that they bring can be sometimes complex and can take some time, and because maybe the business does not have all this landscape of what's possible and does not have the technical knowledge on what can be developed. So I think it's also important to show them that we as a data product manager and also as a data product team can also bring this knowledge to find the best solution really for their problem, and then we are partners really to create value. I think that would be my key argument and maybe my key proposal on this.
Thank you so much for sharing this. And I heard also a lot of times that empathy is king. So really to try to put yourself in the shoes of the other department, domain, whatever you want to call it, and try to understand how you can really create a beneficial collaboration between both sides that is nurturing and valuable for both sides and not just for the one side. Yeah.
I think that's, as you said, is also like about the people, and then also like empathy, and of course it's all about collaboration. And I think, as we discussed before, maybe it's not so much a technical problem, but really organizational and collaboration problem that's maybe not allowing us to explore the full potential from data.
And then now we tap maybe into this like data literacy, business literacy pain. So one pain is also that there's no business view really of existing data products. So data catalogs and spreadsheets are still not able to really show this business relevant value, and also not the link between data products and the business value. So have you any best practice here, how we can really help the data product managers to overcome this pain point?
Yes, and I think that's also one of the areas that we also take inspiration from the product world. From, for example, what is very common as like opportunity solution trees, and then we created like this version for the data world, which we call the business lineage. And in this business lineage, we have the different elements. So we have data products, business goals, and then this opportunity in the opportunities as the connecting layer between the two. And based on in this lineage, you can highlight what are the existing relations and what are the existing dependencies, and basically showing on one hand how can you fulfill your opportunity, so your problems with the data products, and then how or what is the value that these problems can have on the business goals. And by having this overview, I think we can also show what is the connection between the data products and the business goals. So I think having these different entities also helps us to make this connection and to make also the bridge between the data products and the business goals.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And now maybe to the fourth pain point, which fits really well here right now. And that's now a little bit own advertisement, because with our tool that we have created, just quickly here, it's called Delight. You can actually have this overview and create this business lineage view for your data products. And that's it. If you want, you can add something to it, but just a short. Because, the data product managers I've met so far, they didn't really have a tool except Excel or PowerPoint or whatever to manage their data products, which is quite which was quite surprising to me, and that's also one of the main reasons we developed our solution Delight, to give the data product managers finally a tool that they can work with and make their work successful and get the appreciation they needed.
Yeah, for sure. And I think maybe with a few data products, maybe you can do it in Excel, because as you know, like Excel is the second best tool for doing everything.
I love bashing Excel.
But in the end, if you want to scale also like your contribution with data, if you start with more data products with more dependencies, I think it's you need also like a specific tool and to also manage this. And I think that's also like the real value proposition from Delight.
So, George, let's come to the fifth pain point, and with that, the last one, but not the least one, of course. And that is, we tend to develop new solutions for each incoming request without checking existing ones. So we don't really put the focus on reusability and hence spend maybe more money that is needed. And we are not really good at stopping things and don't have an eye for what's out there already that can help me. And how can we overcome this challenge?
Yes, I think on one side, it also relates to what we have been discussing, those separating like the problem from the solution. Because if we come also with a solution in mind, we tend to develop more like this tailored products that maybe are useful for a specific business unit, but are not so easily reusable by others. So I think in one hand, when we develop these solutions, we also have to take this in mind. How can we develop a solution that maybe can be used for other business units and to solve maybe similar problems? I think that's on one hand. And I think on the other hand, we also need to measure the adoption of our data products, the value they are creating. So we can also have the data, because this is also like a data-driven decision, also to decommission the data products that are maybe not creating value or enough value, so to say. And then in the end, you can optimize your portfolio for the biggest value. And I think that's also like this measurement part is also key to have maybe a clean and valuable portfolio.
Thanks for sharing all your valuable insights with me and all, nice best practices to overcome the pain points, to tackle them for the data product managers. And as we are coming to the end of this nice data talk, I wanted to ask, do you have any final last wise words, any key takeaway that you would say, this is maybe the most important thing we should consider when we want to empower the data product managers out there to have, let's say, an easier job?
Yes, maybe I will take what we have been discussing. I think is also like empathy and also like this collaboration. I think it's also the key part, and show to the different teams what is the value that we are trying to create and doing this together, because I think this is not like a one-person job, because otherwise in that case it becomes really difficult. But I think if we all can push in the same direction, I think that can also ease all our lives and create the most value possible.
Thank you so much, George. Then I wish you a great rest of the day and hope to talk to you soon again.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.